If your goal is to build muscle and you're training 6 to 7 days a week, stop doing that. It's hurting your progress. Now, I'm not saying you can't build muscle training 6 to 7 days a week or even 5 days in a row, but I am saying in the long run, it is going to limit your gains. Now, let's break this down. We know these variables are accounted for when we are training for hypertrophy. Overload is the acute disruption to homeostasis. In our case, this happens via resistance training. Then we have fatigue. So every time we train and we get some overload, this comes with fatigue. And this is a reduction in capacity to produce our performance, aka strength and muscle gains, because that's what we're chasing. Then we have recovery. And this is what allows us to return to the previous performance levels, or even better, prior to that disruption, right? And then we have adaptations, and this is what we're chasing, our gains. This is the process to leading to a functional improvement in performance, strength, or muscle gains. Now, if all of these variables are balanced correctly, we will get the most amount of hypertrophy or muscle growth in our programming. The problem with training 6 to 7 days a week is, or even 5 days in a row, fatigue is always going to be your limiting factor. Now, let's look at it this way. We have our gains here, or our performance. And then we have our fitness, which would be our overload, like that acute disruption to homeostasis. Then we have our fatigue, right? So we know that if fatigue gets too high because we don't have enough recovery right here, then performance is going to drop, right? So at some point when we are training, we need a rest day, I would say every 2 or 3 days, so that fatigue doesn't get too high and our performance can be where we want it to. Progressing, not regressing. So an example, again, like I said, training push-pull legs, rest, that would look like this. We train, we don't rest. Then we have that one rest day at the end of the week. So this is kind of where you're sitting, because at the end of the week, your performance is always going to be down here because fatigue is going to be your limiting factor. Same thing with training 5 days in a row, doing like a bro split, chest, back, legs, shoulders, arms. Again, you don't have any rest days during the week. So fatigue is always your limiting factor. You're just training in a row, boom, 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 boom. Instead of doing something like that, you could do 3 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off, or vice versa. You could even do 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off. I don't like that setup because then my training and rest days are different every single week, but to each his own. Now, the point is, when you have this type of setup, fatigue is not your limiting factor. So you are going to end up on this area of your performance gains instead of this area where we're actually making consistent linear progress. It doesn't matter whether you do a bro split, push-pull legs, Arnold split, up or lower. If these variables are balanced correctly, then you will always end up in this level in terms to your hypertrophy. I hope this video helped you a little bit and gave you a good visual. Don't forget to like and follow for more fitness tips.